Yo, what's good, y'all? We back at it. Episode 25 of Doc Connect Wednesdays, man. We about to give y'all some heat, cook it up. You know how we do. Steve got some jarring energy for y'all real quick, man. Steve, go ahead, bomb on it, baby.
Yo, listen. First of all, these train derailments, I seen this shit in a movie before. So listen, nothing that they're doing to us or going to continue to do to us, they haven't conditioned us to accept it, right? So when I went a little bit deeper, now this is happening everywhere, guys. This is Africa, you name it. Every country's on fire right now. All types of things are burning up. So part of Dot Connect is really just asking yourself the right questions and then connecting with the right community, right? So we're not talking about like conspiracy theory, just like really kind of looking at it from a different lens, right? So there was something that I found online and it showed this might have been the Obama administration that passed this, right? So when we out here just throwing our votes away, y'all not realizing what they doing in the background to set up the next 100 years, right? So I found something online that stated, if the government deems your land contaminated, which makes sense, right? Then they can come in and take the land from you, right? Because at that point it's contaminated. So when you're watching all this stuff happening all over the world and it's far out from, let's just say, Ohio, spanning Pennsylvania, I mean, it's going to a bunch of different states. People are saying birds are falling from the sky. Like, this thing is serious. So when you start looking at the land mass, especially in the Midwest, being where the concentration of the most unused land is, you start to see the play in motion, right? But if you're not pairing, so then you ask yourself, all right, so why would the government want? The government can't do anything with land, right? So now you start to see the fight over land with the billionaires, right? So I'm thinking smart cities, and there's a few of them that are doing that. But for the most part, guys, they don't have to do shit but plant trees, right? So there's no maintenance at this point now. These guys are just buying forests. They don't need upkeep. They don't need to build. They don't need the air rights. They don't need anything. What they're looking for is the carbon credit is going to be the biggest asset class in the world. And it's being spearheaded by Bill Gates, who wants to create a EFT based on carbon credits, right? So forget that we're going to be paying carbon credits as civilians in this country, right, to just operate the way we want to operate. But the biggest thing is making sure that these companies are compliant with the new way of conserving energy and things like that. So in order to be compliant, you have to have people who already have existing carbon credits. So let's say as a collective, we got 100 acres. Guys, there's companies now that are brokering deals with landowners, because you got to think, when you have 100 acres, there's none of it, most of it's not usable in the sense of like, you're not going to develop the entire thing. Most of it stays just raw, untouched, because it costs so much just to clear it out in the build. So now it's giving guys with land or people the ability to calculate how much carbon credits they can have for the land and how much, and they're brokering the sale of the carbon credits to companies who actually need it to forge forward with manufacturing or whatever the case is. So you can still do shit the old way. You just got to find a place that's going to sell you these carbon credits so you could offset what you're using, right? So as I'm seeing all this happening, I'm following kind of like the blockchain situation. So I'm like, all right, well, how are carbon credits done currently today? And today it's on an honor system. So guys are basically reusing these credits. I'll sell it to Champ, then I'll sell it to Fitz, then I'll sell it to such and such. So the same landmass that I have, I'm distributing it and making 4 or 5x the money. Normally it's supposed to, if I sell it to Champ, we cannot use that credit anymore, right? It's done. So there's no tracking system. So this is where the blockchain comes into play, because it's the one thing that's going to turn carbon credits into NFTs, right? A one of one, and then once it's used, it's out of circulation. It's on the blockchain. It's there for everybody to see. So this is out of Bill Gates' mouth, guys. Carbon credits is going to be the biggest asset class, right, in their eyes, right? Because they're going to institutionalize this whole thing. And this is all over the world. So this is the play for land. It's not the build. It's not what we thought. It's not the like kill the farmers, and that maybe partly, right? But for the most part, to be able to amass that much wealth just by having trees is kind of an easy game for a lot of people to get into. But now it's a matter of, all right, well, how do we box the normal citizen out who's sitting on a whole bunch of land? You saw the guy, what state was that in? Him and his wife were getting harassed, and they had, I think, over 200 acres.
Oh man, I forgot the African American couple, black couple.
Yeah,
I remember. I just can't remember the state.
It's in Denver, I think.
Denver, Colorado. Yeah, I was going to say
Denver,
Colorado.
yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, so this is happening like all over the United States with black landowners, right? So when you have this much land, you really can't control who's coming on your land. No one's really gating 200 acres, right? So guys, there's a mad dash, and I think on the last call I gave a couple carbon credit blockchain plays. Here's the thing about what's happening in crypto right now that you guys got to be careful of. These scammers are following the news cycle, and if it's artificial intelligence 2-3 weeks ago, then last week it went from AI to Chinese coins,
and then
right, and it went from Chinese coins to carbon credits, right? So just be careful in jumping into these projects. If you took the boot camp, you know how to fact check, you know how to look at the management team, right? What is real is these industries are going to come about, right? But there's just some guys that are just slapping some white papers together. They got some fancy names and websites, and you know they're just in here looking for liquidity. They're not trying to do anything real. So I would urge you guys to start researching the carbon credit situation. It's all going to be tied to our social credit score, and that's if we don't push back on it. And for those of you who don't know what it means, is just listen. At the end of the day, your carbon footprint is basically, you know, how often you drive your car, how much do you fill the tank, how much do you cook in the house, how do you heat, you know, how often do you heat your house? So they're gonna be able to measure the usage, and then at some point you're just going to have to pay a tax for the over usage. How many flights do you take, you know?
Gas you put in your car.
Right. So all of it is going to kind of come back and rear its ugly head at us. So if you're following what's happening in China right now, and I'll just give you one example of what they're doing. So social credit system's been in China for a little bit now. You know, the concentration camps with the COVID situation, we've seen that. New York even tried concentration camps at certain areas in Queens. I remember when in some neighborhoods in the Bronx too, where it was a high concentration of COVID, and they literally roped off particular areas where citizens couldn't leave the area, right? They're public health and safety. Cool. So there was a journalist who wrote something on the internet that the Chinese government just didn't like. So they go to the guy. Well, the guy tried to book a flight. He got denied. He's on a no-fly list. When he finally realized why he was on a no-fly list, it was because of his social credit score was below that threshold. So this guy couldn't move anywhere. So once he reached out to the authorities, they basically said, listen, you have to offer a formal apology to make this right. And then I guess they'll lift the ban. But if anybody knows, when somebody's telling you need to apologize, it's not going to come off sincere. So just like that, the government said, oh, that apology wasn't sincere enough for us. Dude's grounded. He can't move anywhere at this point, right? We kind of felt a little bit of that during the pandemic. For those of you who are unvaccinated, you know, they were talking about flights and driving through tolls and all types of stuff that would have affected the way that we travel. But, you know, I held strong. I knew that this thing wasn't going to last for so long. But with everything else that they're cooking up, with the ability to be able to cut you off at any point, it's going to make it tougher for the half of us who just kind of stood on what we believe in, and it's just freedom of choice. This one's going to be a little tough. Mind you, first thing they did was they shut the courts down. So now we got no courts. At what point don't you have no courts in America? No cases, no nothing. Everything was just at a standstill. So that means these guys arbitrarily were just saying, shit wasn't even law. They were just putting shit out in tweets, you know, causing chaos in people's lives. So whatever. For me, being home is a home game. So I lock myself in. I'm good. Now I get that most people don't have that luxury. So to go back into what happened today, Ford, and I don't know if you guys saw my page, but I posted it kind of all over our network. Ford just filed a patent for a, to repossess vehicles, like just automatically, right? And we talked about this before. So if anybody knows the Vechain working with BMW, the first time I saw it, I'm like, this isn't about car parts, right? This isn't about the age and the use of the vehicle, even though that is a valid part of it, right? To give us enough information on products. So anytime I look at a project, I'm always like, all right, how treacherous could these guys be with this? And then I go in at that point. So when I noticed the car situation, I said, well, if the car is on the blockchain and everybody's tied to that network, meaning your lender, you as the individual with text messaging, right? Because most of us could start our cars through our phones now, through apps. We can unlock the door. So all of this is happening, guys. This ain't new. You know what I'm saying? It's just we have the ability, right? You don't just go out in the driveway and your car is just not there because you didn't pay your bill. So the insurance company, so once you start to not comply with what's needed to operate a vehicle, they'll be able to cut you off. So you go to your driveway, they'll be able to cut the heat off in the car. They'll be able to control all facets of the vehicle. And then the vehicle could even take itself back to wherever bank or whoever's the repossession situation is going to be. So Ford just filed for the patent. So if you look at it, go to my personal page and even the Skype and TikTok page, Telegram and Discord. I posted the situation just to get you guys started. So once I went down that rabbit hole, I noticed that Vechain they just secured a partnership with BYD, which is the largest electronic vehicle manufacturer in China right now. So they're partners with them, Renault, which is the French automaker, and then BMW. Right? So guys, the one way that we're going to be able to sidestep this, because you got to think wealth is going to be the true way to basically just say fuck it to all this stuff, right? So if I got to pay to fly private, then no problem, I'm wealthy. They even asked Bill Gates about that. Well, what's your carbon footprint? Because you're jumping on a jet and it might be you by yourself or you and someone else. Like, that's a lot. And he's like, well, I'm actually doing the good work. So I'm the one setting up these systems. So I have less usage than most people. Basically, he's king of this shit. So don't question him about what he flies. So now when I start to dig a little bit deeper into Vechain, if you guys knew a couple months ago, we talked about the Walmart situation where they started to test. And I didn't even realize how inefficient Walmart's system was, where it can take, if Walmart wanted to locate a product inside of a store, because mind you, that if you ever been to a Walmart, they don't know shit in there. Like, you're on your own. The app doesn't even tell you what aisle situation is in. Some stores you can go to and they'll, Home Depot, to tell you aisle this, bay 4, right? Efficient. Once the blockchain comes, once you say it, it's going to take you directly. It's going to ping the location. So the other day, I'm at this new chiropractor up here in Pennsylvania, and I drove by and I noticed an Amazon grocery store. Pull right in, right? You got to scan a QR code to get in or a handprint, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm looking, I'm lost, and I'm pretty fast. But I've seen the video of the Whole Foods. The lady is like, "What do you mean I can't get in?" And I felt like that. So there was a kid that worked there, and he came out and he was kind of explaining certain things. He's like, "Listen, you can bypass all this, and you can go right to a line." They had one checkout person, so you can go in and just do your normal shopping, and then you go through the checkout. Or if you decide to scan your QR code, what it does is it tracks you throughout the store. There's fucking cameras everywhere in this store. They're not big ones that you can see, just everywhere. So when you pick something up and you put it in your cart, it's going to calculate it automatically. And if you take it out your cart and put it back, it should take the product out from your cart. So you're basically grabbing, going, walking straight out, and you're done. And it's going to charge you. But the kid was telling me that the charges don't come in real time. And I'm like, You know how many times these dudes ring up the wrong thing, or maybe there might have been an item that didn't come out of your cart that you didn't have. So now I have to reconcile my groceries, even if it's 10 minutes after. I need to see what I'm paying for immediately. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this, and if anybody is around, and Fitz, I know you live up this way. The places in the Amazon store is in Newtown Square. So it's basically an Amazon. I mean, it's basically a Whole Foods with just picture the middle aisle of a regular supermarket. So you can get all your Whole Food stuff there, and in your middle aisle, you can still get the bullshit. So it's kind of it merged.
Yeah.
Pricing is great. Produce, I would guess, is local. So this is the times that we're headed to right now, and it just seems like everything is speeding up, right? But then when you look back, you just kind of like, well, they're just applying new names and new terms to what's happening. But we've been kind of talking into our phones, talking into the remote control to give us exactly what we want. If I'm out, I'm able to start my oven remotely from my phone before I get home. I can have my oven on hot. So yeah, there are some good things when you are on the electrical grid that can make things easier, but we have to look at the dark side of the possibilities with these guys. And it really all is about this new world order and just that one way of just dealing with the general public of the world. And this is what these guys are looking to do. So again, Vechain, and I'm just going to drop the stat again. They just did the test the other day. It took Walmart. Normally it takes Walmart 24 hours to locate a product within a store. 3 seconds with Vechain, right? These guys are doing hundreds of thousands of transactions. This is Walmart China, right? So look at Vechain and look at Morpheus, right? That's they're kind of brothers. So I don't want you to be all in with Vechain and not look at, what I would consider Big Brother, because Morpheus is up there. You know what I'm saying? I just like the underdog. And it's a Chinese, own situation. The guys being from China, most of the developers and things like that. So the one thing about these Chinese coins, and I was telling Champ, we can read those easy because the Chinese government is not going to align themselves with just anybody, right? Here in the United States, they're going to have, once you can get past regulations, it's still kind of free market, but out there, they pick you and you're God, and everything else flows through there. So that's why I'm bullish on Vechain, because I know the liquidity that's sitting over in China. And come June, once the stuff opens up and Hong Kong, Shanghai, and all these new investors start to bring their money into the market, you're going to start to see this market cap might hit, a couple trillion. We still are facing this black swan event, right? With Tether being the last, but you see what they're doing to Binance right now. They're chopping them at the limb slowly. Right.
Yep.
So the Ford patent is a huge one that came up on the news cycle today. What else did we have today? Oh, HBAR. HBAR just got a new guy on the board of directors. Champ is he's familiar with all things, but again, when we show you how to read projects, you got to look at the team, the management team, upper level, senior execs, and you're starting to see guys who worked for government, federal, treasury, moving into crypto, blockchain, Ripple, right? You're starting to see a lot of Fed guys over at particular companies. And that tells you that, okay, if I have a relationship with the United States government and I'm working with a company now and we're right at the point of federal regulations, who am I talking to in the room already? Right? Just like Champ and I got to sell Champ on something. I'm in. We have a rapport already. So start looking at the hiring practices of the cryptos that you're holding long term, because the companies and the guys are shifting. A lot of the tech guys now are moving to blockchain security, because Google and all these guys have hiring freezes. Crypto major projects are the only ones that are still hiring internally. And Ripple just added a new member, right? A female,
Yeah.
You have background on her?
Yeah, hold on, I'm about to pull it up. And the guy that they add was Brian Brooks to HBAR. And to you guys who don't know, that was the former acting comptroller of the currency, and he was the former chief legal officer for Coinbase. He also was over at Binance as well. So that's
guys, when he worked for the government, he oversaw over 70% of the banking system. Kind of was under him. He's at HBAR. Right. And HBAR has over 255 distributed ledger technologies that they're working on right now. And these are all Fortune 500 companies, Boeing, right? So they're building out the framework as we speak. So again, I can't harp enough about the carbon credits. The way it's shaping up now with them going after the staking, because Champ and I was supposed to be teaching you guys staking, and we kind of fell back from it. They're going to make investing in crypto nodes, staking are probably all going to be for, and there's going to be a pushback from the crypto community, right? Because the whole point of the decentralization is to make sure that multitude of people can get in, and if we're not deeply connected with each other, then there's less chance of fraud happening, right? Mm-hmm. But if you allow it to be just an institutional situation and you start to look at like BlackRock and these guys, these guys own more of Amazon than Jeff Bezos does at this time. So when they start to control the greater portion of a particular blockchain, then they could easily manipulate the blockchain. And it's just like that. And Champ told you proof of stake, this shit's just hard.
None of that shit works. That shit is all cash.
But it will work in their world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right? Because they're gonna make it work. So ETH is just gonna be around. They're gonna run that thing up. But who knows, right? Because we have other case uses of other blockchains that do things way better. So now, since it's a kind of free enterprise, it's gonna be ball game once people could step away from the wrath of the regulation. So you noticed, I think today, the attorney on the Ripple side asked for Gary to recuse himself, right? Because he's making strong comments this week on his stance. Every crypto is a security except for Bitcoin. So this guy's not even trying to this is the head. This is the guy that's supposed to be making the rules. So I mean, at what point do we get to question his integrity in all things that he's involved in?
These guys is wicked, man, and these are the guys that that are supposed to be in power. Like it's sickening, man. I dropped the article for y'all too, so y'all can see it, man. These guys is a joke, man. That was Stuart Alderati. That was my guy, man. Ripple definitely got that case in the bag, man. Hold on, dropping it now so y'all know. All right, boom, there you go. And I dropped the article for Monica Long. That was who Ripple named president. That was just announced last month. But she's been with the company for years. She was in charge. She's one of the SVPs and general managers. She got promoted. So, she's been there. I think she got there in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. So she was there early when it was like 10 or 15 people that was part of the staff. So she's early. And she really put in some work. So that's a powerhouse right there. That was a power move because she's with her expertise and her tenure at Ripple, she's going to bring a lot of value to that position, and she's going to further push Ripple globally. So, she's one of the ones you guys definitely got to pay attention to her. She's one of the staff members you might want to follow. And I'll drop you guys Twitter. If you guys have Twitter, I'll drop that for y'all so y'all can follow her.
Yeah, guys. And March is, this is kind of the month where all systems are going live, right? The Fed now, they've been testing since November. I mean, they didn't give back any info on that technology coming out of New York.
Yeah.
They were testing it, so we're still kind of waiting on that. I dropped in Telegram and Discord for paid members. I dropped the I want to say it's the Fed paper on digital currency and payments.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going back a year or so, but it's good to kind of see the framework and it's just fucking here. It's been here. You know what I'm saying? It's been here. It's just a matter of time right now. So I don't know, bro. You know, when you've been in it this long, right? Because back then the government wasn't saying anything. Like 15,
Yeah.
nobody was talking about that. I know 8. Yeah, prior to that, I know it was crickets. But yeah, and I told you, once you start to see stablecoin regulation, that's when it's like real news. All the suing of celebrities and here's a wild dot connect too for you guys, and then I'll let Champ kind of take over. I'm gonna pull off.
All right.
When you look at the amount of money that these companies are paying in fines, right? 5 million, 10 million, 50 million. And then you look at the bankruptcy papers from these guys. So it's like the federal government, the SEC is there to protect consumers, but you're pulling the liquidity and allowing these companies to pay with our money, right, as retail investors, to pay the fines and to fight the case. So what money do they have left over at the end of the day? You're never going to recruit anything once they get done with you. So Gary and them are basically, those are the best traders. I thought Nancy Pelosi and her husband were nice, but these guys don't have to do anything in crypto.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just got to bring I'm telling you, bro, they are using the exit liquidity to fund these cases. They're making a shitload of money, and they haven't ever recouped anything from any investor.
Mm-hmm. Never.
But they're here to protect us.
In-house bread. That's all that is.
That's it. Yeah, so keep the stuff off the exchanges. We've been saying it, but now even more so. And allocate it over a couple different cold storage. So I wouldn't put everything 100% on one cold storage. So for me, Decent, SafePal, and Ledger are kind of my 3 go-tos. And between those 3, I'm able to little XRP here, little XRP there, little XRP there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way I'm playing it, just in case somebody wants to act stupid and tell me that something was breached. So that's all I got for y'all today. God damn, they gotta start taking these cards with me, guys. I'm telling you, you're not paying that card note on time.
They want it.
No more grace period. Car's done. And they talking about the ability to send a car to the junkyard and just crush it.
Crush it. Yeah, that's wild.
Because you remember New York was one of those states when you get caught with a DUI in New York, I think if it's your second or third, they confiscate the vehicle from you.
Confiscate
No matter
car,
what.
yeah.
You know, so these type of things are happening in a lot of states that we're unaware of as you know, the public.
Shit's wild, man. Steve bought the heat for y'all, man, and it's crazy that he said that. So I'm sitting beside my ledgers right now, and I bought these out for a reason, right? So there's 3 I'm holding in my hand. This is something that I have to give credit to Steve for, because so again, we both been in since 2015, right? When I first came in, we didn't even have ledgers. These ledgers weren't even around, right? So what we were doing was we were keeping our crypto on exchanges or using paper wallets, right? So if you were super savvy, you were a person that was just using a paper wallet. I was around a lot of techies, so they showed me a couple things that kind of helped me be safe and just have safer practices in the space. As time emerged, I'm starting to see, I got my ledger and I'm starting to see, I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm putting all of my assets that I could hold onto this one ledger, right? I lose my ledger. Then I figure out that I still have my private keys. I can purchase a new one, reset it from a backup or restore from a backup, and then all of my crypto reappears onto the new ledger, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm a firm believer. And I started buying extra ledgers for family members and things like that. But one thing I can say that Steve has taught me, he's like, yo, listen, you still got to go the extra route of being precautious, right? So again, I'm telling you, I only had one ledger that I was using. I lost it. What if I didn't have the know-how or the ingenuity to even research and know that I can restore. I could buy a new one, restore the backup, and then it's all going to show up here. You would think all my crypto was gone. And I'm talking at the time, this was in fiat, maybe 30,000, 30, 40,000 I had invested personal cash, and I lost it. So imagine if I'd have lost the keys, not knew what I was doing, I would have just considered that money, that capital gone, right? So Steve was like, listen, start spreading out your assets across various cold storage wallets. The proof is in the pudding. Like, we don't just talk this, we're showing and proving this. We're doing this ourselves. So this truly is the best route to go. Don't just invest in one cold storage wallet, because if you lose one, you still have your private keys, right? But then you still have other ones that have other assets spread across evenly that you can always have as a backup or as a reserve. And we're not supposed to be walking around with these anyway. You can, but these are meant to be in a safe, right? So just want you guys to be safe, especially in these times, because what I'm about to go over is definitely going to tie back into why I even have these out in my hand today. Steve, you sticking around?
Yeah, one more thing, guys. So I dropped 3 links on 3 things that I shot. So Fidelity just they're dropping a metaverse ETF now. So they're going to pull together metaverse companies and create a super trading pair. And if we had to guess, how many metaverse companies are out there? Champ and I gave them to you already.
A ton.
They're on CoinMarketCap already. So they know something that we don't know. And this is the crazy part about it, is that these guys are going to be our best friends. They're going to be the ones that run this up. Right. And then there was a chart I wanted to share with you guys too. Let me get it, and then I'm out your hair.
Nah, you good, bro. You bumming. I like it.
And I should have had this ready prior. Champ, that chart that I had with the innovator, kind of the buy-ins.
Mm-hmm. That was on a drive. Hold on.
Okay, I got it here.
You got it?
Yeah, let me drop this in for you guys. Yeah, this is a good way to kind of look at market cycles and when people get in or don't. And then just figure out where you stand with this. But guys, don't let them box you out of your position. You guys came too far to be scared of what they're about to do next, though.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not putting nothing past these guys. But we in. This shit's about to go up. I'm telling you that now. But go ahead, champ.
All right, so I want y'all to drop a 1 in the chat if you guys ever heard of the G20. If you haven't heard of the G20, drop a 2. All right, so this is a little high level, but I'm a kind of dumb it back, and you guys are gonna see where I'm going with this. So the G20 consists of a bunch of country members, right? This is all about intergovernmental and international forums, right? Everybody kind of pilling together, creating a synergy. And this is where they pass back and forth a lot of thoughts, ideas, laws, regulations about how they want to govern certain things that are going on in the world. Of course, we're here for crypto. So when you think about things that the G20 is doing, and then you tie in crypto, think about that, right? We're here in the US. I don't know if everybody on the call is from the US, but we're here in the US. Now think about this from a global spectrum. You have all of these countries that consist of the G20, the group of 20, right? And I'm gonna break down all the member countries just so you guys know it. But where all these guys are coming together, having secret meetings behind closed doors about crypto, and people are telling you and spreading FUD like, hey, crypto is about to, it's about to explode. Yeah, they're about to do some nasty stuff in the space, but crypto is not going nowhere. So I just wanted to make that loud and clear, and I wanted that to live and just be here, right? So the G20, aka the Group of 20, it's a intergovernmental forum comprised of 19 countries in the European Union, right? So it's Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, the UK, and the US, and then the European Union, right? So that's the G20. So you have all these countries that are all coming together right now. So Kristalina Georgieva, right? She's another one of those names that my 1%ers know about, right? They were basically coming out and they're saying, as a whole, each one of our countries likes crypto. They like the idea of cryptocurrency, but they all want to regulate it first. Regulations are a must. And we told you guys that the regs are, truthfully, the regs are here, right? I just really, really, truly think because everybody's not on the same page and there are certain things that certain countries are trying to do and position themselves for, the long term was going to happen. I believe they're just stalling. The United States is one of the major economic leaders in everything. But right now, it seems that the US is lagging when it comes to crypto. There's no regulations. We have idiots that's in place, like Gary Gensler, you know what I mean, steering everybody wrong when he knows 100% what he's doing, right? He's a puppet. So these guys that are with the G20, and these are the higher ups, the elites, the International Monetary Fund, the Bank of International Settlements, the G20, right? These guys just had a meeting. And because the countries are not on the same page and they haven't come to one level agreement in terms of regulation, they're right now considering banning crypto. So the crazy part about this is, I want y'all to understand right now what country is the governing body over the G20 right now. That's India. So with India, you know, we already had guys that were on the call that's part of the university that were talking from experience, knowing what's going on in their country when it comes to crypto. When they say banning, they mean banning. There is no purchases. They're not allowing anything, right? It's almost like a complete halt. And then out of nowhere, they shifted and said, okay, we're going to start allowing crypto purchases again. Things like this just consistently kept happening in India. But now think about this on a global spectrum, right? So the head of the G20 right now is India. So if the head is flip-flopping, going back and forth, and the rest of the countries are all in agreement that they want crypto, but nobody all has regulations, they're actually considering just putting a halt to crypto, putting a big ban on it. So if you put a ban on something, what happens to all of your cryptocurrency that's on these exchanges? What happens to the investors who are staking? What happens, and this is in all countries around the globe, right? What happens if you just stop and just completely ban everything? The only thing that you could probably still stake out of everything is ETH. You know why? Shanghai update, right? And it's proof of work, proof of stake. So when you got this nonsense going on, and they basically can stop all other cryptos from even being in existence or being able to move from exchange or anywhere, right? People who aren't savvy and you don't know what you're doing, you're automatically going to be halted. You're going to be controlled. Your assets that you've put your time, your energy into, right? All your emotions into, it all stops. It all ceases. The only way that you can circumvent that is what? Somebody give me something in the chat. How can you circumvent that? If they ban crypto right now, Kraken, Coinbase, BitTrue, BitPay, everything, what could you do right now to protect yourself, to still be able to move, to still have control of your assets? I need an answer. Somebody got to give me something, because I believe in everybody that's on this call. I know somebody got the answer.
Put it in my wallet. Cold storage.
Wallet. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. So one, that was reassurance, right? I needed to hear that. I needed to hear y'all say to me and say to me and Steve, yo, if something crazy happens, we know what to do. Y'all told us well. We got it. Not your keys, not your cheese. Let's go. This is why I had these ledgers out. Because right now, guys, it's about to get nasty. We keep telling y'all about this black swan. We keep telling y'all about what these guys are doing. So if we're giving you already the heads up that the G20 is telling you that, don't take that idea off the table. We can ban crypto until we all get on the same page and release regulations. But what happens to everybody who's already in the space trying to invest? If your money's on the exchange, you asked out. You became exit liquidity. Because if they ban crypto, right? Think about this. They ban crypto. What happens to the exchanges? There's no liquidity flowing to the exchanges. They can't charge you these fees for every movement. So there's no money or profits being made by the exchange. The exchange still has a payment to make to keep their lights on. If they ban it and they seize everything, and this is a global act, this isn't just in one country. This is all of it. This means all of your exchanges shut down. All of your cryptos on these exchanges gone. You, the investor, crushed. Everybody else who's with Skyton, y'all had all y'all coins right here on one of these, or one of these, or one of these. Y'all lit. Nothing nobody could do with you. They can't control none of it. So as soon as they turn the lights back on, it's back in action for you. Everybody else, they coins gone. There's no protection. There's no FDIC insurance. It's no reassurance for the everyday investor, especially when you're moving like you don't know what you're doing. So this is why we told you guys 1 trillion times, as long as you have these, and as long as you really got your mindset together, this is what the first day of the boot camp was about. Steve didn't do that just by happenstance. There's a reason for that. We already know it's going to get nasty out here, but if your mindset isn't together, listen, you're going to panic and you're going to fuck it up anyway. So outside of knowing what to do, you really have to be poised. And I'm telling you guys this for a reason. Look, you guys can see this? Somebody give me a thumbs up. I bet. So look, the G20 ban on crypto emerges as a possibility as countries see the need for regulation. It's happening here, and they just put this out, February 25th. Today is March 1st, right? And then 2 days ago, well, 2 days after this, forgive me, they dropped this article. Banning crypto should not be taken off the table. And this is from the IMF. So if you got the G20 and you got the IMF, under the G20 and the IMF, you got the Bank of International Settlements. And this is the elite of the elites. So everything we've been telling you guys, it's all been in preparation for these times. I know it's heavy. I know sometimes y'all be wanting to pull off, because trust me, me and Steve we do this tango all the time. It gets overwhelming, right? But it's all about your mindset. You definitely could take a break from crypto, but you got to definitely keep both feet in. Don't take your feet out the water. Just, take a deep breath. We know it's a lot of data, it's a lot of information, but sometimes it is best to just pull off for a quick second and revisit, because you have a renewed mind, renewed energy. Now you're able to take in more data and you can process it a little more effectively than when you're stressed out or when you just bombarded with a bunch of info. Because I know we dropping wild gems in the 1% chat. We dropping for the VIP. It's Steve giving you guys plays day in and day out. It's just new news in the news cycles. It's so much stuff going on, plus everyday life, right? So we get it. But I really, really need y'all right now. Y'all have to stay focused, because if you lose focus right now and you panic or you move misinformed, you're going to get crushed, because they're about to do some wild stuff. Coinbase, quick pivot. Coinbase just created a stable coin called the Euro C, right? It's a Coinbase-backed stable coin for the euro. Not Brian Brooks. What's Coinbase CEO name?
Armstrong.
Brian Armstrong. So Brian Armstrong, he is just basically telling everybody, look, we got a good relationship at Coinbase with the SEC, right? And we know how the SEC operates. We know how Coinbase operates, right? A lot of these guys aren't upright. They're not They're not official, man. These guys will tell you whatever they need to tell you in order to kind of enrich themselves, right? So you have to scrutinize everything. But the reason I even brought up the stablecoin is because there's still an attack on stablecoins. Don't get that confused. So the Binance stablecoin that was issued by Paxos, right? BUSD, even that right now just got removed from Coinbase. A lot of other exchanges removed it in fear of a liquidity crisis. What he was doing was the same thing that FTX, Sam Bankman was doing at FTX. These guys were pulling customer funds out of the pot, using the money for other things. And it just was revealed on a Forbes article 2 days ago, right? Only reason I didn't share it is because it has to be a paid article. So if you didn't pay, you can't view it, right? There's a big giant pop-up that comes on it, but you guys can search it for yourselves. It's literally telling you that the CEO of Binance did the exact same thing, and now he's being scrutinized by the New York Attorney General. And it's not the only regulatory body that's scrutinizing Binance right now. So Binance is considering leaving the United States along with all of the relationships that it currently possesses. So listen, guys, nothing is safe. If you put anything on any one of these exchanges at any given moment, there could be a new article that emerges. There could be new news, new FUD, whatever, and it'll pop up instantaneously and cause you to be wrecked. So I'm not trying to stress nobody out. I just really want to drive this home because all it takes is one person to not hear what we're saying, right? Me and Steve are doing this day in and day out. We researching this stuff, making sure we get to the bottom of things and presenting it to you guys, right? And telling you, listen, scrutinize it. If you don't feel what we're telling you is correct, scrutinize it, because that's what you should do with all data, right? All information. Anytime it comes across your palate, don't just accept it, right? Do your own research. Get in your Dior bag, like my man Wolf say. And then you make your best calculated decisions based on the information that you have. Guys, it's about to get nasty, and these exchanges are going to keep crashing. There's more exchanges that do not have liquidity. They do not have money. They are going to shut down. It's going to be more attacks on stable coins, and they're going to continue to pick them off one by one, whether they're algorithmic, even if they're backed by certain things. Just because of certain relationships that they have and how they're tied to certain players is going to cause them to collapse. So just know it's happening, y'all. So keep all your coins off these exchanges and don't play with it. By no means.
Listen, they did the same thing in the 90s, guys. Just research the fight over the internet and the fight over just free-flowing information in the government. They did all of this back then. Somebody hit the nail on the head. It really is about eliminating retail investors. You have people in third world countries that are making income. They're sidestepping economies, right? They're sidestepping inflation because of crypto. They're seeing all this. They know the power of it. So honestly, the ban is really for Bitcoin. I'm gonna be honest with you. It really is for Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yep.
Here's a share.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
Y'all could take some notes on this one. So listen, and I dropped this chart to you guys. You guys should print this, right? And be happy about it and sign your initials to where you came in. Make sure you're not in purple, because you wouldn't be on this call if you were. So when you're looking at a cycle with new technology, right? So clearly the innovators are the guys that came, probably 2000s, way before, right? They're the ones actually building this. So they believe in it because they're actually building the ecosystem, right? So then you have the next yellow one, which are early adopters. I put Champ and I in that mix, and you guys too, because you're buying the time that we already put into the market. So it's like all you guys are in, up to speed where we're at with it. And then you got this early majority, right? So the early majority is going to be the institutional guys. These are our friends. They'll be here in like 2025, but there's going to be a bull run this year towards fourth quarter, right? It's going to pull back. And then you got a late majority, right? These are people that are trying to FOMO in. But at that point, I'm just throwing out some H bars, 6 cents now. It could be $30 by the time early majority comes in, or even 100. Then by the time late majority comes in, they're buying at the height. This thing's pushing up. And of course, there's always going to be a pullback somewhere. I watch ETH and these guys go from like dollars, Bitcoin, dollars to 20,000, 70,000. Like I've seen it. So I know it's possible. And those guys didn't even have any case use. No real case use. And I wouldn't say ETH, but Bitcoin for sure is a paperweight.
Absolutely.
And then you just got these guys in the purple right here. They just all fucked. Right. That's like, they're you have no place in this ecosystem if you don't understand how this technology works. And not even just from an investment standpoint, just to be able to sidestep shit. So you're not waking up in the morning, slipping, bumping your head while your car's driving down the street. Right. Because think about that Netflix series, showing all these cars and everybody just chasing them. That's entertainment. So guys, we're still early in this, but like Champ said, the big scary situation, this is where we're at right now. And the powers to be are all getting together. Right. So here's the last one I'm gonna share with y'all. And some of y'all knew this already, but most of you probably didn't. So this is a letter that I received from somebody in India. Right. So check it. This is from the Reserve Bank in India. Right. So look at it. And mind you, India is part of BRICS. So this is happening all over. Right. So India has already integrated a payment network for peer-to-peer using Stellar Network, right? It's backed by gold bonds, right? So now you start to see the rules in America. What are they telling the banks? You have to hold, every bank has to have gold in the vault, right? Every bank can now hold between 2 and 3% of crypto assets on their books. Y'all piecing this whole thing together? Yo, XRP is a motherfucker, but this Stellar Network, if y'all haven't dug into that, and I'm just giving it to y'all, you need to look at this payment network. And I'm not saying that Ripple and XRP can't do the same thing. I'm just telling you that these guys got a foothold on this peer-to-peer market here. Just think of Zelle, right? If you had to make a comparison, right? So this is India themselves telling you, this is a release that they gave to all the citizens of what's about to happen. So this payment network is being set up for universal basic income, right? Because this is what's going to happen throughout the world, because there's just going to be the disparity between the have and the have-nots is going to be crazy. Even millionaires now may get wiped out. And then there's going to be a new surge of wealth that comes into it. So everybody's not safe at this point. And then when you're listening to the news cycle and you're seeing the particular guys that are talking about the IMF, that are talking about the social credit system, these aren't like, black and brown people who are just like complaining. These are like white citizens who kind of see this shit happening, and they're telling you like, yo, we have no place for this. The Governor Abbott, Texas, Florida, they're like, listen, they said it specifically. They were just like, listen, those guys at the World Economic Forum, they are not allowed in this state with anything that they do. Right. So now you have to start looking at particular states that are friendly. We saw this during the pandemic, right? You had the two biggest cities in the world, right, sitting there being controlled, and everything else was just kind of just falling in line. It's like, damn, if you can do that to New York and LA, you could run through any state and city in the United States. So same thing is going to be said for all things World Economic Forum, all things social credit system. It will be available in some states faster than others. California, New York, if I had to guess. So, start to really position yourself to understand like where, who are these crypto friendly states. I went to a show in Miami. The mayor, Miami's doing an incredible job with crypto, but Florida in itself is probably going to be one of those safe havens where they know the wealth. And there's a joke down in Miami too, where it was like, once the crypto crash came in FTX, the nightclubs were like, listen, Miami nightclubs need a bailout. There's no more crypto guys spending that cash anymore. The dealerships, every car's back, the watches, shit's back to normal. Well, almost. So we're just, and that was what, 3.2 trillion? There's a whole lot of wealth in here, right? That was just the wild, wild west. So just imagine when it really becomes institutionalized and case use should start to really come in. It's a wrap. Like these prices you guys are getting this stuff at right now, if you did your own research, it's not going to be no laughing matter in the future. And you're going to have a ton of people around you that's going to be fucking upset.
I wish
So here's a letter, sovereign gold bonds. This is all BRICS Nation is about. Every single body that's even the United States. This is the only way that you're going to be able to operate moving forward. So, you know, when I tell people the plan is really to own assets at the end of the day, but nobody is seeing cryptocurrency as assets. And they're telling you, all the institutional guys are telling you, yo, this thing is going to be on S&P 500. They listen, you see what they're doing with the BIT and the ETFs. There's a ton of applications in for all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got guys, you know, ready to, you know, self-custody of XRP already. Like they're asking for it already. Right? I'm not saying to entertain it, but I'll drop something in the group and you guys can go ahead and check the company out and take a meeting with them and see what they're talking about. But we're just talking about you never have to liquidate these assets. You just get paid dividends. But I only move on that and will only endorse it once the rules come into play.
Absolutely.
You know, same game with the stock market, guys. The same fucking game. There's no difference in this. That's why people, it kills me when people are like, oh, what does crypto do when Warren Buffett's talking all this shit? And I'm just like, but listen, you have these private companies that just say they're public and they're just putting out this information and they can make it look great, make it look bad, and they give some numbers. And it's all about supply and demand at the end of the day. Because if we don't invest, the price doesn't go up. More buying pressure, right? More selling pressure. Where's the genius in that? Yo, this shit is here. This shit is definitely here, guys. Damn, they gonna ban crypto. That's cool though. I wish they do that. Because it adds so much more allure. Uniswap, like these guys are gonna be on fire.
What? Come on, man.
Fire. Because nobody's really, truth be told, there's not a whole lot of money really going through these exchanges like that.
Mm-mm.
You know, there still are decentralized protocols that people are still using to this day. I never really adopted those moves like that. You know, I usually just buy it and I'm off. But I would urge you guys to start looking at, you know, those decentralized situations at this point. Yeah, that's it. So sovereign gold bonds, research that and tell me what's happening. And everything happens, you know, everything's coming over here last, right? So all these implementations and social credit systems, all that stuff is already in place. Italy just launched theirs last year, but it's a reward system, right? So they're going to start slow. And then they're going to pull the rug out from under you. But like Champ said, they got to create a major fucking problem for us. Brazil, no, not Brazil, El Salvador.
El Salvador, yeah.
Yeah, just to give you an example of what's happening out there. So the government of El Salvador let the crime get so crazy, right? And let's listen to this design right now. They let the crime get so crazy out there, you know, the MS-13, all those guys. So much shootings and death per day to a point where the citizens are scared of the gang members, right? So now when the government stepped in, they dropped the law and it passed. Basically, they could pick anybody up for anything, even if you're associated with a gang member, even if you're not locked up. So once they started to roll this out, murders have dropped 54% per day, right? Because of this. But the citizens not even realizing that this is like a fuck campaign for the long term, right? Because this law isn't just for gang members. This is for them to do whatever the fuck they please when you step out of line. But the citizens are so happy because they were so scared of the gang members. Now government is like the savior. Can you imagine they can just pick you up for anything? And it's in law. Like no due process, no nothing, just straight to jail, off the street. And people are cheering for this. And it felt just like the vaccine situation. I'm just like, yo, what's there to cheer about, man? Like that ain't the solution. You know what I'm saying? But because the problem was so jarring, motherfuckers couldn't wait to put some shit in their system.
Mm-hmm.
Like people were signing their kids up early. I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Just wow, man.
So I'm just telling you. So if we've been through the health crisis, just imagine a financial crisis that they're going to give us to constitute why our money is worth 30 to 70% less than what it is in the bank right now. Because they're going to tell you once the lights go down, they're going to be like, listen, we couldn't recover anything. But you can have this. And what would you say? Fuck it. I'll take that. You know, and in order for this not to happen, we have to move over to this system right here. And this is the fight all over the world. These countries are not adopting the CBDCs, and not because they know exactly what it is. It's just human behavior. Like, bro, people only know one wallet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to drop something digital, now what they're doing is they're creating chaos with the digital wallet, because there were some people that were just dropping it and it just to see what the adoption was, and it was like nothing.
It was nothing. Yeah.
Now you got people who are like, Nigeria, that are cooking up problems, right? Oh, okay, let's come out with new prints. Okay, let's not print a whole lot. Okay, let's not put a whole lot of money in distribution. Now you're forced to go over to digital at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People in Turkey, I mean, Turkey's up to 100 and something percent on inflation, guys. Inflation.
Wild work.
Things are sitting on the shelves out there. Nobody could afford to buy anything. But the way that these countries are sidestepping sanctions or inflation is they're buying stable coins, right? And they're trading amongst themselves at the end of the day. So you telling me these people in these countries with little to no education are able to navigate this system and make things work? And I don't think the U.S. citizens are that smart. Like when the tough, when that pressure is on us, they're not going to figure that shit out. And that ebook's not going to be $20.23 either. At that point, the price is up.
Price is up. You got to pay. Yep.
Price is up. You're just a lagger. So you're going to pay more for everything at that point. And what would you give somebody that can give you advice on, how to keep your money stable and out of harm's way? What would you pay somebody to teach you that?
Come on, man. That's priceless.
So go back, look at old videos, piece it all together. But they got FTT token. Is it Josiah?
Josel.
Josel?
Mm-hmm.
Josel, yeah.
Josel, you on it today, man. Where you from?
I'm from the Bronx, right here in New York City.
Where you get all your crypto knowledge from?
I follow a few. I just bumped into you guys like about a month and a half ago. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were legit because there's a few fake pages going on. So I'm glad that, you guys did this Zoom. So now I got clarification that this is the original legit one. So all this time I was following the right one. But yeah, I'm glad all the knowledge that you guys drop. And I follow Crypto Teacher on YouTube. I follow you guys, follow Master Investor, EYL. I do my own research as well. And I journal, try to cover really what's going on in crypto, but I trade Forex. I also trade binary. So I try to do a little bit of everything that diversified, but you guys are on it. Y'all definitely got me some newer gems that I already knew, but appreciate it for real. I'll definitely check in with y'all in Philly when you guys pull up. I'll definitely be over there.
Yeah, and don't be shy, guys. Y'all can run up on us. Yeah, there's no problem with that. So I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you guys. So I just dropped my personal IG champ, drop yours. Spence, you coming? Good. Felt like I know Spence since back in the day, man.
Fitz. I think Fitz in the building.
Yeah, Fitz is in the building for sure. We got a few, and we might be doing something. Either that evening after, we might just meet up afterwards and go somewhere. So I'm still kind of putting that together, so we can kick it a little bit.
It's on a Friday, right? The 25th? Saturday.
Yeah.
If we do something, I'll change the flight. Well, yeah, no, we definitely gonna rock, especially
but you flying out Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
This is gonna be Saturday after the show.
Oh, you gonna do it right after the show? All right, cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up.
I don't know. This shit real easy to pick apart right now though. They're not doing anything that's like real surprising to us.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the ban on crypto though. That's a major move right there.
Yeah. And what's crazy is it's super plausible. it's not even like it's one of those things where somebody can like mention something and you just be like, like fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But it's really, really plausible. Because think about it. If they can't get a control on something, what's the easiest way to get there? You know what I mean? Without letting the coins thrive and letting the ecosystem continue to grow and grow so big it becomes a behemoth that they can't control. Ban it. You know what I mean? That's 101. So it makes sense, and it's crazy, but that's another method. That's another way the black swan comes. So I'm excited for it. I'm not hoping that people's holdings and stuff is just gonna get crushed. I don't want to send out that message, but I'm just ready for this black swan to happen, because once it happens, it's gonna clear out the runway for a lot of coins that do nothing. It's going to really make space for all the real world coins that have real world use cases that are supposed to thrive. The new emerging ones that took the old coins and made them 5 million times better and have better partnerships, better reach. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm kind of eager. And I can't speak for Steve. I know he's ready, but I can't speak for him. I just know I'm beyond ready for something to happen. Like being here for this long, it's like, yo, it's gotta be time. They can't hold it back too much more.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. And to be honest, I'm looking at the prices in the cycle. We right back to 6-7 years ago. Absolutely. So you guys couldn't be coming in at a better time. Like, you sidestepped a whole lot of bullshit that was going on in the industry, because my head was super hot when crypto was just on fire. There was money being created in all sorts of places. We were trying to catch all of it, knowing that there was rug pulls, but being able to time the market, thinking you're smarter than most of these guys. So at this point, I'm done playing those games. Just be really careful with whatever the news cycle is. Like I said, AI related projects, everything's pumping. Do not chase green. Just look at the projects, wait for the pullback. But like I told Champ, it's going to get to a point where we can't even buy crypto anymore. And we called that a long time ago. So that is the ban on crypto. Turning the lights off on all exchanges. Stopping every stable coin except for maybe 1 or 2 or 1 per country. Like, that's a lot of controls in place. And Champ, showing me that whole circle situation and the intricacy of that smart contract behind that situation. I'm just like, that really ain't it, though. When you think about it, I mean, there's great elements to it, but just the fact that a company can just, and Coinbase, all of them are like that. Like, whatever they tell them, they're shutting wallets down. No due process. No, back in the days, at least they came to your door and they served you some papers. Now that's just like, damn, can you imagine just getting on? And I mean, just think about it. If Bank of America does go down, how do I even sell money around if there's an outage? How? Because even if you went to the bank, there's an outage at the bank. They don't have money.
Right.
Hey guys, be careful at these big banks. If you're at the Chase, the Bank of America's, the big guys, might want to go local credit union. Just keep the bare minimum in for what you need. I'm telling you to put the rest underneath your mattress. That's not all great either. It's not working for you, but you need to put it inside of some assets. And next week we're dropping this thing called a plan that's just going to give you, kind of an outline of what's happening, what happened when we came off the gold standard, how they made everybody come in. And this is, the buyback situation that you keep hearing could be real. It could definitely be a real thing, because they did the buyback with the gold, but that wasn't a good price that they set, and they crashed it even more before it took off. So it's like, the citizen will never win. And if you listen to anything World Economic Forum, IMF, like, these guys are all saying this. This is the first time I see everybody in the world saying the same thing. And the motto is, own nothing and be happy. They're looking to lease you out your clothes. This is the type of shit they're working on right now, where you won't even own the clothes on your back. This shit gonna be like a big ass rent-a-center.
Yo, and Rent-A-Center got Jordans right now. They bugging. They got Jordans for you.
You see what I'm saying?
Going? Hold on.
I could lend out some crypto, man. Like, you could buy Jordans in Rent-A-Center right now. We twisted. And guys, that artificial intelligence and all this new tech that they putting out, the government's going to push that to keep the citizens busy, right? Because you can't have people like not entertained. So this is why the metaverse is going to be huge, because that's the only way to offset depression, suicidal thoughts, mayhem, is by just letting motherfuckers just feel like they somewhere that they're not. And that's the whole push with the metaverse and alternate reality and all things, augmented reality and things like that. That's why we feel like it's speeding up, but it has to be here. Because if you're not entertaining the public, when them ribs start to touch, guess where they going? Pitchforks come out.
I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
And that's the link for anybody who thought we was playing. That's the link for the Renter Center on the Jordans. Yo, it's about to be trying times out here, man. It's getting wicked.
It's crazy. Yo, if anybody from the university is willing to go ahead and buy some Jordans, yo, I got some XRP for y'all. Just bring back the receipt for that. Just go do that transaction.
Yeah.
XRP for you. We giving them anything today?
Yeah, I could give them something. It's something I had in the tuck. It's part of the Zenfin Eco.
Yo, go back to that render project again, guys. Y'all might want to take another look at that one.
Yeah, I'll drop the link for that too, so they have it.
Can't call that one last year, and that's a gem. When you're looking at your portfolio, look at infrastructure, right? And when I say infrastructure, layer ones, you know what I'm saying? Stay away from some of that silly shit for now. You know, clean up. I've been doing a lot of cleanup too. I've found projects. I'm like, I had to go back in the tuck and just figure out like, what the fuck is this project doing and where are they at on the roadmap? And you start to realize like, shit stuck.
Mm-hmm. So,
Bitcoin.
yeah, you want to stop the recording and give them a play, or you want to keep it on? It's up to you. I got something for them.
Nah, let them live.
Let them live.
Let them live.
All right.
We do got some people that hit me like, yo, I gotta watch the replay. I can't watch it tonight. So
all right, nah, I got you. I'm gonna drop this for y'all, man. Y'all can have this. You're welcome. So this is the ticker for it.
now listen, guys. So there's a lot of things floating around the internet, you know, ISO, all the craziness, right? Because let's just let the cat out the bag.
Mhm.
Here's the difference between actually knowing what these projects do and then just hearing it from everybody. Would you feel comfortable putting $30,000-$40,000 into XRP right now?
Especially if you ain't know nothing about it.
Right. So if you're just hearing it, this is why nobody wants to focus on what they actually do, where they're actually going, what problems they actually solve, what partnerships, you know, how's the testing going so far? What are the downsides to it? So yeah, you buying a little $50 here and there. That's cool. This is why the institutional guys that are about to come in, the early majority, they coming in with the big bags. You understand? They're not coming into play. This is why you see the early adopter on the chart is very small, right? We're only talking about a $1 trillion market cap. And I'm not saying only like that's a small amount of money. But when those early adopters come, guys, there's wealth, there's pension managers that have trillions of dollars under management. And this is on a global scale, right? Because there's numbers overseas that we're not privy to. So even when you're looking at like Boeing and all the data that I pull from that, they don't really share the overseas numbers with you, the global numbers. So when you start looking at the Forbes list, if the Forbes list really included everybody who was like really showing their shit in some of these countries, nah, there's guys that like own warheads.
Straight up.
Who just fly under the radar. They're not entertaining that. So you telling me the Prince of Saudi is not on the Forbes list? Okay. All right.
Listen, man, only because Steve is in a good mood, man. He said, let y'all live. I'm gonna let this rock. So So this is the project. I'm dropping it in the chat. Boom. So the name of the project is called Storex Network. And I'm gonna drop. I did the spot call for it and all that. I decorated it for y'all and made it super nice for y'all. But I'll drop that. I'll drop that on Discord when we drop the playback. So the breakdown for this project, just so y'all know what it is. So it's a decentralized cloud storage network. It allows users to secretly secure and store their data on a decentralized cloud. All right, it's powered by Zenfin. It's super fast, super cheap, and it's faster and cheaper than centralized storage. What it does is it enables users to basically source out storage capacity, and you can lease space and earn returns. So it's 100% anonymity and privacy. You get value for money, faster retrieval speeds, reliability. It's open source, so anybody can use it. Environmentally friendly. And right now, the cloud storage industry is $100 billion industry right now. So like this right here ties into Web3. So you remember, it's all about only having control over your stuff, your data, your information. The data is going to be gold for everybody. So Steve is about to bless y'all with the Web3, and he put in a lot of that work. You know what I mean? So this right here is going to be one of those giants that kind of ties in with that release. So that's the only reason I'm giving this today. And I'll actually drop the graph. Well, you know what? I'll drop it on Discord. But I got the infographic for y'all, so I'll drop it on the joint for y'all. But that's a gift from me to y'all. Boom.
That's a good one. Listen, for every problem, there's a fucking solution, right? So here's one that's crazy, guys. She's coming out of Fashion Institute in New York. She lives in Brooklyn right now. So they created a clothing line that it tricks AI facial recognition off of a shirt.
Yo.
Right? So you got to understand, you're going to have these other type industries that come out off of things, for guys like us who are just, against a lot of things. Because, a lot of landlords in New York, they were trying to go to like implementing facial recognition at front doors of buildings just to allow you to go in. So just think about when this technology comes, there's going to be, like, if you're not a law-abiding citizen, I'd urge you to like just get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are going to be able to hog tie us in the middle of the street.
Wicked.
That's innovative right there.
That's
the same thing with 19 with the crown that he wears, that's supposed to, protect against the signals, 5G and beyond. I saw a commercial the other day, I think during the Super Bowl, they fucked around. They said 10G. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I miss something?
Fuck around, cook your brain.
So we've been through 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're at 10 now.
They about to just start wilding. And you remember before, all them birds that was just flying, just dying off the poles and stuff. They fly on and just they used to just kind of sit and just be perched. Them joints was dying straight immediately off. It's too much radiation. And, animals feel everything 10 times more than we do. You know what I mean? They intuitive. So
you know what's killing me about the whole situation now, right? So this is how crazy times have gotten, where everybody, you got them boys on the other end that's always kind of in the comments. So now everything is, that's an AI bot. That he didn't say that. This is where we're going right now. They're gonna trick us into believing that nothing's real right now because of artificial intelligence. These are the comments that I'm reading right now. And don't get me wrong, I've seen some shit, done by AI, and it looks real. But the data and the way that I process it and the way that Champ processes it, you can't tell me that this shit ain't real. It just makes fucking sense. And there's nobody to dispute it. And it's coming out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Carbon credit, guys. If I was to buy anything right now, it would be just fucking land. Right? Because I was always looking to buy land with a purpose. that always, was just about increasing the value of the land with building. But now, shit, they're paying for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're paying for it. All right, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. How y'all good out there? Anybody got any questions? Anything y'all need?
SRX. Champ stay with these things. He never to date, since I met this guy, he'll never put me on to something first.
Ah, cut it out, man.
I hear the shit when y'all hear it. That shit is crazy. It's all good though. Nah, that's just to show you that you getting this stuff in real time. We're not just sitting on this information.
Yeah.
Actually, Champ do be sitting on shit though.
I do. Pause. I do. I be having wild spot gems.
Oh, energy field. Tone, we're gonna let's bring that up. So and that's my fault. I was supposed to bring it to Champ. Tone mentioned the energy field. So let's just make that topic for next Wednesday.
For next Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah. Tone, I did uncover some stuff after you mentioned it. It started to come down my real well. Now you on to something with that one. Solar fields. This shit getting weird, man. And if you guys don't have this bag already, Champ had put us all on to these. All my shit stays in here.
Super sharp. I actually need some. I just gave some to my neighbor's son to take back with him down in Miami. He bought a ledger and I hooked him up. So I'm out. I need some more.
Yeah, they're right on Amazon. We'll drop them in Discord. And if anybody's new to the community, please follow us on Discord. Head over to TikTok, guys. We got they about to ban TikTok.
Yeah. So we probably gonna pivot. I've been looking at some other platforms, but listen, blackout happens, it's all going down.
A lot of people making money on TikTok too.
What? It's too much info. It's too much info free flowing.
Yeah, nah, TikTok's the mother of all. Like, they're gonna lay it out for you.
Word.
In 2 minutes or less. Some smart people over there. But yeah, that'd be wild. If they ban that joint. Remember, Agent Orange is the first guy on this.
Straight
They
up.
tried to make it look like he was crazy. Now this other guy. What's the other guy?
Oh, Sleepy. Yeah, my man can't stay on his 2 feet.
That man trips going up.
Yeah,
he's gonna take a fall from that plane one day. It's gonna just put him out. Yeah, I do like the Decent wallet. I don't use the fingerprint technology.
No, the biometric.
If you're gonna use the fingerprint technology, I think you could have up to 2 prints.
Two.
Yeah,
Yep.
so make sure your spouse or whoever, and that's the other thing too, guys, with the self-custody situation. If you guys aren't talking to the girlfriends, the wives, the baby moms, like this ain't easy for people to just plug it up and think that they're gonna know how to offload a situation. So part of the plan is to know how to train people on using or accessing your ledger if you weren't around. So somebody should know where it's at, and you should definitely have someone in. Like I Champ's on my short list. If something was to happen to me, my wife knows. All right, listen, hit up Champ. He'll assist you in what to do. So you need to have some people on the short list until we get it's going to change for sure.
Yeah.
When the institutional guys come, they'll be, it'll be a whole lot easier. But it's really difficult now. If something was to happen. I actually got some shit I got to pull off the exchanges today. Yeah, so if you, and then Champ knew this already, but I did it the other day. And so when I used to buy directly through this one exchange, the fees were pretty high. So now it's like Cash App, Bitcoin out, Bitcoin in, convert, purchase, back to the cold storage.
Yeah, that's a wild play, and it's crazy, and that's my bad too, because I could have been shared that with y'all. I was doing that when we had the exchange issues.
Yeah,
kudos to Steve for that, because he even brought that back to life. It's like, yo, that's another way for us. and it ain't the most efficient, but this recently, ever since they made the upgrade with the Lightning Network, some of the transaction costs have significantly decreased. So it's a lot cheaper than what it used to be. So this is definitely a good play.
Yeah, I'm not using nobody's central bank digital currency, just so you know.
At all.
No. That won't work for me. I'm out. There's too many means of exchange to be stuck in that hellhole. I'm not a candidate for universal basic income, so that ain't me.
At all. Josel, talk to us. Silver bars, 10 ounce, good. That's a good play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely.
my question was, as we move forward in this crypto age, in this digital era that we're gonna, basically abide by, in your opinion and your thesis, I mean, they really want to push these CBDCs. Y'all see that they really want to push for this, and that's what they're, I feel like they created crypto in order to, like, get us in the hole and then say, okay, this is the solution that we have for y'all. So moving forward, when do you guys think they'll actually implement the CBDC at scale as a whole, if that makes sense?
Just across the globe, or just domestically here in the United States? Because
I would say across the globe, because then, the dollar's reserve currency. So if they want to replace it with CBDCs, how much longer in y'all thesis, if it does occur, like, they want to implement it, as they say, by 2030. But in your opinion, from, y'all the experts, y'all would know more than me. When do you guys think it will be implemented at scale globally?
if I had to make an estimated, if I had to make a guesstimate, I would probably say 2026 to 2027. I wouldn't even give it to 2025, because you have to factor in some of the timeline that's going on right now. It's just now happening when it was supposed to occur in 2022, right? So now that you got now that the call for 2025, you have to shift. Both systems are going to run, the antiquated and the new one have to run parallel for 2 years, right? That's going to be the testing phase, quote unquote, right? As we transition. And then you have adoption that has to occur, right? But you have to also factor in, they're going to cut the lights off at some point between now and 2025, right? So at some point, there's going to be a lights out moment. So in order for them to even facilitate, it's still going to take them time, because these guys haven't even pushed out regulations officially yet. So I would definitely give it 2026 to 2027. Steve, what you think?
Yeah, it's the same timeline, because remember I told you from 23 to 25 is going to be the financial revolution in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so there's going to be the fight for power, the fight for independence. There's a war on minerals. Africa is the richest nation.
It'll bankrupt everybody
In the world. So you're gonna see a big shift in just government power. So by the time in 2025, because they're already implementing this stuff in a bunch of countries already. It's just it's slow to adoption. And then you still got a bunch of people who are just underbanked or not banked, right? No cell phone. So this is why they're hell bent on just getting everybody cell phones at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say another 3 years. Because in the US, they'll give us maybe a year for an option. But even when they did the gold buyback, that shit was like midnight the next day. Like they're not fucking with you with that. And this was all part of the 80,000 IRS agents, was really just to try to get as much of this all the cash into the bank. Because at the end of the day, they're going to do this, they're going to make hundreds, 50s, and 20s. They're not going to be legal tenders, because they're not even printing money anymore. I'm listening to Jerome Powell. He's like, yeah, we just they're just making this shit digitally now. I'm like, oh shit, they're not even using a printer anymore.
Shit, wow, man. But think about it. The fastest way to go digital is to, is to cut off the access to fiat currency. You know what I mean? So you almost force the population to have to utilize whatever you have. You know what I mean? And if you don't have a way to barter, purchase, whatever, You know what I mean? Even if it's commodities, if you don't have a way to offset the usage of fiat, you're basically susceptible to whatever they give you, which is CBDC or some sort of stable coin or some sort of digital form, and you're gonna have a wallet. And that's already law, right? That's already been passed previously. So it's happening. You know what I mean? You just have to revolt as a people. You know what I mean? You got to kind of stand, because you got to. Steve is big on this. He always tells y'all, look, you got to look at the bad side, not just the good side that they give you. It's always a rainbow. Like even when you're looking at a product they offer you, at the front is always rainbows, flowers, something that's attractive. And then when you look at the back, you see the ingredients, it's 90 ingredients, and it's supposed to be turmeric. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, that's the same thing that they doing to the world right now. So it's like, yo, don't fall for the good things of the CBDC. Actually look at the bad side. The other side is what's going to really, open the light bulb. You know what I mean? That's what's going to do it for you. So,
I mean, listen, what won't be fair is the decision that you're going to have to make in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Because you won't have time. So I mean, if they've played with our health, the last thing that they got to play with is our money at the end of the day.
Yep.
And most of us don't even know how money works. So there's not going to be no argument when you're already broke.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when universal basic income comes out, people would be okay with that, because everybody wants the most for the least. Everybody does. And it's perfect timing. So ban TikTok, it don't matter. There's so many decentralized internet companies that are on the blockchain right now. It don't really take much, guys, to just sidestep certain things. But yeah, I can see them shutting down the doors on crypto though. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Because think about it, it's overnight. The sentiment has always been overnight. Whatever you have is what you have. When the lights come back on, you priced out. There's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do, and it's a utility. The next phase is a utility bull run. The work has already been going on for years. So you play yourself now and don't purchase the right projects or don't invest in the right projects right now, you might be shit out of luck forever. You know what I mean? And you will be a laggard. You're just gonna be a user. Because they ain't for you. It's for entities, for governments, for big enterprises. And governments are essentially bigger enterprises. So you know what I mean? It ain't really for you and me, the everyday person. Y'all better know what I know.
Yeah, so listen, Uniswap, make that your best friend. Do some transactions over there. Just get accustomed to those decentralized joints. Champ, you could drop a few on them in the beginners chat.
Okay.
In Discord. So we'll assist you guys. We'll add that to the plan too. So you guys will see it. But if you watch enough of our videos, you can kind of piece together most things.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do put our products out, they are pretty robust and easy to fucking follow at the end of the day. So the plan is something that you may not need to break out now, but you may want to get accustomed to just how those things move, so you're not just like, being reactive in the moment. Yeah, they're gonna have all this shit come crashing down. And guess what? When the lights come back on, that capital infusion is gonna be crazy. And I've seen money infused in crypto and how fast that thing can go up in a minute ticker. And I used to watch Bitcoin. It was crazy. Like millions, hundreds of millions of dollars pouring in seconds. And these guys they're not buying the way we buy. That's all OTC situation. We're not in that club. So be happy with the little bit you have right now. And just look to get some more. So I actually have USDC sitting waiting on my cold storage. That's kind of my go-to. They're the most transparent one out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any tether, guys, I'm telling you, get that shit, get it off. Next week I'm dropping that play of how to short tether if you want to get in on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's gonna be a good one. But listen, at the end of the day, we can do all this shorting, but these exchanges, they're not gonna honor none of it.
Take it down. I'm gonna tell me we about to wrap up.
But yeah, I'm that's all I got, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we definitely appreciate y'all, man. Love the energy, love the participation, all that, man. Y'all dope for this.
Oh, one more thing about Herman's event. We're working with them on creating the metaverse for the virtual tickets. So if somebody can't make it, there's a high percentage that you're going to be seeing this event in the metaverse. Courtesy of Skype and Crypto University.
Hello.
Yo, we just working, guys. This is implementation time. So people trying to wrap their head around what cryptocurrency is, you too fucking late. That's old news. You got to figure out how to add to this ecosystem right here, because these jobs they didn't go away. Just old jobs went away, right? Just think about a cashier as like a coal miner. Like you don't really need coal miners anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just a new age, guys. My wife sent me something the other day, and this was pretty alarming. But we'll end with this. Let me see. This shit kind of crazy. You know, I'm big on the astrology situation. So, you know, this digital revolution was already talked about way back when for this time frame right here. So we got 2 more years in this bullshit. And it's a lot to unravel. You know, when you're talking about one of the oldest currencies, right? I want to say the British pound, probably the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cooked too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we just entered what they call the age of Aquarius. But just listen to this shit right here. And this shit's gonna last a couple thousand years. So just letting you know. There's gonna be a lot of fuck shit going on. Go ahead, champ. Rock them out while I find this.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, Josel, man, you a book of knowledge, man. I love it. He dropped in the chat. He was piggybacking off what Steve was talking about, how to short tether. He said, I know it will implode and USDC will be crowned, so they say. Listen, been telling y'all the most transparent, man. These guys did reserves and all that on the site. So, you know, they've really been digging. I don't know if you guys have, drop a one in the chat if you guys ever been to Circle's website. Circle is the USDC issuer, right? It's the company. If you've been on the website and you looked at the reserves yourselves. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking, all ones. That's what I like to hear, man. Super dope. Super, super dope. Listen, Circle is not playing no games, man. They definitely are differentiating themselves from the pack when it comes to stable coins. So I'm sold. You know what I mean? I really don't cut too hard for certain coins, just, you know, for the most part. But USDC, that's the one when it comes to stables.
Listen, them diehard guys who was out before 14, and they hate me now. They like, yo, you are off your rocker, you know. But I'm just like, I'm not going to fight a system thinking that it's going to be one way. And I lost that train of thought a long time ago. I'm attacking it from all angles. They hate that I invest in Ripple. I'm like, yeah. What the fuck not for? Why wouldn't I? So this age of Aquarius that we're in now, guys, just to give you an understanding of what Aquarius is associated with: electricity, computers, flight, democracy, freedom, humanitarian, idealism, modernization, nervous disorders, rebellion, nonconformity, philanthropy, veracity, perseverance. Yeah, with that one.
Perseverance. I'm doing the same thing today.
Humanity and irresolution. So think about it, right? All those words that I just told you is wrapped up into everything that's happening in the world as we speak right now, guys.
Wow.
Conformity? Nah, I don't do that.
At all.
Steve be bugging.
And Champ co-sign all the BS. I'm with all of it.
Champ is really for all the smoke at the end of the the day? It's your firearm. You see it? Champ is for all the BS. It's never not in reach. That nigga could be in the bathroom. Where's your firearm?
Oh, another one by my foot right now.
Right. Champ is wild. He's like, man, I put them joints in the refrigerator.
Straight up.
All
I ain't playing with nobody.
right. So I'm just telling you guys. So the last piece to this rabbit hole puzzle is really just your status correction at the end of the day, right? Because they're only able to do that because none of us are human in their eyes, based on our social contract that we have with them, that we signed and we didn't even know we were children when our parents signed it.
Man.
So that's the part that Champ is gonna spearhead and usher us into that. You know, when you start looking at these, you know, John D. Rockefeller and, you know, James D. Rockefeller, and you start understanding how these guys are not, you know, how they're set up in trusts and they're actually real people, you know, who you can't fuck with. So that's the plan, right? Not the first plan we're dropping. That's the last plan. Because most people, you tell them this shit and they be like, look at you like you got 3 heads. So it's like, I can't be teaching crypto and telling somebody that they're not human.
Right.
So just be careful with all this gender identity shit that you're putting out there. And, you know, you're kind of reinforcing the fact that you're not human by not being gender that is on law or books.
Wild times we in.
Yeah. Just protect the babies, guys. Cause you know, I'm not going to be here for that much longer. Right. So when you start looking out further and looking at your children having to deal with this and then their children having to deal with this, like, what are we doing? Because these white males are going to blow this shit up. You know what I'm saying? This is their last stance. Because right now they're telling you exactly what they're doing and nobody's caring. Nobody's caring. Nobody's listening to them. Now it's just like, oh, no, that's not real. Like, I'll be having to play this shit back. Like, yo, did he just say that?
Shit wicked.
And that's part of the population control. They just need all the fucking land, man. They just need people out of here. Straight up. Black, white, African, it doesn't matter. Everybody getting stepped on. And it's not till when people come together of all walks of life, then that's when the change, you know, is starts to happen. You know, good thing for them Trumpers a couple of years ago, man. We would have been fucked out here if
What?
we had them boys storming.
That shit wild, man. Yo,
I'm out, man. So I'm chilling tonight. I'm partaking in some Fox and CNN news. I go kind of back and forth some days and just kind of see the economy. It's like so polar opposite, man. This shit is mad funny.
yeah.
But Fox is definitely on it though. I'll tell you that.
Yo, listen. I ain't even gonna get into that conversation. We'll be here for a minute, but listen, Joseph.
Yeah, just head into so we have a channel called the Rabbit Hole.
Rabbit Hole.
If you want some of that shit, then Champ's all for that. He wilding. That boy internet has not been working right in the last year.
At all. Hold on, I'm about to redrop the links for everybody, man. I know it's a couple new people that's on the call tonight. So we definitely appreciate y'all joining. There's the link to our TikTok, Instagram, and our Discord as well. So Discord is the home. So if you want to join the family, yeah, Rabbit Hole is inside the Discord. It's a channel that we set for all of the smoke, right? All of the craziness. It goes down in there. So definitely anybody, you guys are welcome to join. And there's tiers, but the first link, it'll show you guys once you join the Discord. The welcome channel tells you exactly how to navigate all the necessary channels and all that good stuff.
And then just to close out, so when you go to our website, SkytonCryptoUniversity.com, just go to cryptocurrency, and these are in order for the most part. So this ebook here, for anybody that wants to get into crypto, $20.23, top notch. Security, Crypto 101, it shows you how to move your crypto from the exchange to your cold storage and back and forth. All that's in this book for $20. After that, we would urge you to take the Bootcamp 101. That's 4 days with Champ and I Champ rocked out. He did a lot of heavy lifting on that. After day one, it's just health and wellness with me. But then after that, you're getting hands-on how to read projects. It's a deeper insight, and it's led by us. But again, it's pre-recorded, so you can do it in, over the course of 4 days if you wanted to. It's broken down like that. And then after you finish that, most of our guys get inside this 1% situation where we're giving you the projects. There's a lifetime membership with the 1%. So even to this day, we're still dropping information. So we have every 1% project that we called with backup information, and every time something hits the news cycle as a group, we're dropping the stuff in, and we're kind of following those projects. So this is where you really go when you want to figure out the bag, and not just somebody telling you, yo, XRP. Now here's why.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Understanding that we're tracking all things, all wallets. Like there's nothing that passes Champ and I. And then we have the monthly VIP, which you can click on that, and it encompass some other things too. Futures trading is another one. We have guys making money every day. I'm still making the calls. I fell back from trading once in a while. I keep actually got my stock statement, from my exchanges, and I was wilding out a little bit in the stock market. So yeah, I kind of fall back from trading weeks at a time, just to clear my mind. So yeah, the calls are still hitting, take profit, 25%, stop loss, 50%, and 90% wins. But the discipline in me is why I fall back. I don't care how many wins I have. You never want to be a slave to anything that just makes you money all the time. Sometimes you just gotta partake in other things. And that's it. So that's the website, guys. Shit, we might have to get into this tech apparel. Scrambling the AI face recognition with a shirt.
Come on, man. Let's get to it.
$300 t-shirt too.
Crazy.
And
we got that flavor. Style, fashion meets tech. Come on, man. That's what we doing.
Oh, Particle. So for those of you who don't know, we have a kind of a partnership with Particle. We're so Champ and I are NFT holders in this. If no one knows about this, read up on it. This was the first high-end art that was purchased from Sotheby's auction using ETH crypto, and then they created 10,000 NFTs with this from the original artwork. So you can buy digital pieces. So I actually have this one here. So we're able to print this on a metal canvas. So I have it in my kitchen area, hung up on a wall. So, and then we have an event that we're trying to do a Particle to in the metaverse. So there's good things cooking at the university, guys. And we're not just crypto. So that's another thing. Do not get it twisted. We're all things.
All things.
Talk about all things here. And we respect everybody opinion. All right, yo, I'm good.
Yeah, we out of here. We gave y'all spot gems. We gave y'all that work today. Good energy, man. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. So this is gonna conclude episode 25 of Connect Wednesdays. We had a quarter, y'all. We're gonna keep pushing. Let's get it.
Oh man, appreciate you.
Love you, bro. Big love. Love you, bro. Appreciate it.
See you in the morning.
All right, you all ready? Let's get it to it.
Oh man. Recording.